So you heard me mention before that Boog Sciambi is the voice of the most popular baseball video game in existence, MLB The Show. What I did not mention, however, is that that video game is so intricate that if you were at bat, let's say, and you repeatedly asked for timeout, virtual Boog would get a little frustrated with you.
Time called. This is brutal. No one has time for this. Just hit pause.
And that is the thing about baseball in a nutshell. Approximately 1 zillion weird scenarios can happen in a game, like someone abusively calling for time. And these scenarios can involve a zillion different people. And so I wanted to understand what doing that job, the job of the guy who has to simulate, call all of these hypotheticals, what that job involves, so that this show, and maybe the show as a result, could take full advantage of that too. Okay, so MLB The Show.
Yeah.
I want to introduce this concept by explaining how it is you did that job.
Yeah.
What did it involve?
So there's multiple things, but there's base hit left field. Here comes the runner around third, and the Mets are going to the World Series. And then base hit runner comes around third, and the Mets are going to the NLCS. Like, I have to do every version of it. And then
Every possible timeline.
Right.
You are a Nexus
And then
announcer.
I have to do your name. And I do Pablo Torre. That's so that they can stitch it all together.
Yeah.
And that's for everybody's name.
Are you afraid of being replaced by AI, Boog?
Nah, not really. I mean, eventually I probably will ask for it. The part that I love is that I do some of it in my apartment in Chicago, and it dawns on me, even with, sound muffling, et cetera, that the people across the hall from me are like, man, he is just so into his craft.
Or just like, that guy is insane.
Yeah, he's just practicing his home run calls.
That serial killer.
On Belton. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's me.
But truly, like, when you do the math on it, it's like thousands of
So I would say,
of reads?
so we've done, I think I've done it for 5 years. And in 5 years, we've done over 300 hours of recording.
My God.
So
your consciousness is effectively uploaded into the MLB The Show.
yeah, it's
System.
It's intense.
What I am going to venture to guess is that you were never asked to describe some of the following scenarios.
Go.
This is going to be hard because what I did was assemble a writer's room of Mike Schur and Alan Yang and Mina Kimes and me and Cortez just vaping in the corner uselessly.
Sure.
I basically am giving you the office writer's room. And I was like, they're all baseball fans. What do you guys want to hear? And they gave me some prompts. So I'm going to give you the prompt.
Yeah.
And I want you to call this like it's happening in a sporting event.
Yep.
So here's one prompt.
Yep.
In the middle of a Royals-Twins game,
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage drives onto the field in a Subaru Outback and attacks the shortstop with a Nerf gun. This is so stupid.
It is. It's really 2-2 to Buxton is foul back, and the count remains even. And whoa, hey, what do we got here? Look, there's a car in the field. Good Lord. And it's out at shortstop. Bobby Witt Jr. is backpedaling. He is that's Nick Cage. Goodness, Nick Cage is out of the Toyota Outback, and he's got a gun. He's got this. What is going on over there? It's a Nerf gun. Everybody will be fine. He's shooting the Nerf gun at Bobby Witt Jr. This is terrible. I stink at this.
Let's say it's Mets-Cubs.
Yeah.
And in the stands is Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
He's wearing he's wearing and then systematically eating in its entirety a sombrero made out of tortilla chip material.
Okay.
And there's guacamole, there's salsa, there's nacho cheese.
Back here at Wrigley as we go to the top of the fourth. Cubs lead the Mets 4-0. Oh, and look who's here today, Sir Anthony Hopkins. Tell you, one of the great things about coming to Wrigley Field is a giant sombrero hat made out of tortilla chips. And nobody loves it more than that guy. Sir Anthony Hopkins. And I mean, JD, look at him getting down on that sombrero hat. The guac's going everywhere. I think I see some fava beans there. You know that he is enjoying himself a little bit of Chianti. And, oh, gosh, get him a napkin. For the love of God, clean it up.
Okay, Alan Yang submitted this one. Can you have Boog do Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arm wrestling Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor to a violent emotional draw that culminates in a embrace, maybe respectful but wary? So whatever your spin on that is.
Back here at Wrigley, and time now for our heavyweight arm wrestling matchup. It'll be Sonia Sotomayor and Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And away we go. Release the arms, and Leonardo. Very, very strong. He's got Sonia Sotomayor close to a win. Very, very close. Sonia Sotomayor back the other way. She's got some guns. I got nothing else.
Okay, hold on. What if you're calling a Cub game? You're at Yankee Stadium. In the bullpen, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are there.
Yeah.
And they're actually going to do their MMA fight.
Okay.
During the 7th inning of this Yankees-Cubs game.
Okay.
And after a few sad moments of wrestling, they suddenly just decide to start staring into each other's eyes, and they start kissing. Gently.
Am I allowed to change it?
Of course.
Okay. So here it is, the matchup we've been waiting for. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. They will square off in this UFC Battle Royale. And we are underway, and Elon right now with the upper hand. Elon with a takedown, and he's punching him in the face, punching him harder. Wait, what's that? It's Nicolas Cage. He's driving his Toyota Outback onto the field, and he has run them both over and killed them. And this fight is over.
That is so f***ing stupid.
Yeah.
All right, Boog. At the end here, there's only one way to sort of send you off into your job. Can you call me hitting a game-winning triple at Wrigley Field? I'm a Chicago Cub this time.
Right.
My teammate on first base scoring the game-winning run is a Velociraptor. Yes, it's just figured out how to open doors and hit off-speed pitches.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
That just happened in the 7th. But now we're here, bottom of the 9th.
Okay. 2 down, bottom of the 9th. The Cubs trying to pull out a win. It's a 2-2 game. Clay Holmes on the mound for the Yankees, and here's the Cubs' Pablo Torre. Right-hand hitter digs in. Velociraptor over there at first. Holmes listens in for the sign, and he's ready. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a ball driven right field towards the corner, slicing, fair ball. That's going to get into the corner, and Velociraptor is on his horse, on his way to third. Velociraptor, they're going to send him. Soto trying to dig it out. Velociraptor on his way to the plate, and save! Ball game. Cubs win. Pablo Torre the hero as he knocks in Velociraptor, and the Cubs walk it off.
Boog, you are too good of a friend to me. Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. Love you, buddy. This was fun.
God bless.
Thanks for having me, man.
This is very exciting, Stugotz. Look at this man. His face makes me happy. His jokes make me happy. His work makes me happy. He has taken time out of his day. I know he was eating a sleeve of saltines in his underwear, watching Carlito's Way, and he has stopped doing that so he can join us. Patton Oswalt is with us. He's been doing comedy for more than 35 years. His effervescent tour is about to hit Grand Rapids, Detroit, San Diego, Denver, Baltimore, Providence, San Francisco, and Salt Lake. You can get tickets for his tour, PattonOswalt.com. He's been doing it great for a very long time. Thank you, Patton. I want to talk about your game show, but I'm a big fan of your work. And I'm talking about the documentary on Max, all of your work. I'm a big fan.
Well, Dan, thank you so much. That is unbelievably flattering. You quoted a very obscure bit of mine, and I'm kind of taken aback. Thank you, man.
Oh,
My head is swelling.
I love your facility with language. I love your take. I just love what it is that you have done with your comedy. So we'll talk about your game show in a second, but because we've got some guys here who want to pitch you some of their game show ideas.
I loved you in Ratatouille.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hang on. I want to hear game show ideas. I'm instantly intrigued by that.
Okay, we will. They're terrible, but they're terrible ideas.
Dan, they're not bad. They're not bad.
They're not as good as 1% Club, which we're also going to play with him.
Did you like Carlito's Way, Dan?
I loved Carlito's Way.
Kleinfeld is perhaps Sean Penn's best character ever.
That can't be right.
I think it is, yeah.
He's actually pretty amazing in that movie, and he's so not Sean Penn. He's this absolutely different person on screen. It's kind of stunning watching him.
Yeah, he agrees.
I don't know if he agrees. I love Kleinfeld too. My friend was Kleinfeld for Halloween. I love that character. Yes.
Wait, whoa. Right. Your friend dressed as Kleinfeld.
Yeah, well,
what a great costume.
The costume thing goes way back.
Did he spend the whole day just going, well, there's this movie called Carlito's Way, and so there's a guy, you know Sean Penn from it. So that was his whole Halloween that year, was explaining his costume.
That's right. It is.
Who are you?
It's not an efficient costume, but it was just basically the hair that went straight up, and it was Sean Penn with a cocaine problem. Before we get into the meat of what it is that we're going to do here, just introducing you to some of the audience here. I heard Patrice O'Neill say the other day, he was talking about the comics that Marc Marron has birthed, and he called you a baby Marron, and I didn't know whether to take it as an insult or flattery, because I think of you as unique in the regard that you are and different from Marc Marron. But the thing that I wanted to ask you was, Marc Marron said in reaction to that, because they were talking about how happy and refreshed he now looks, that he's happier now, but he's also less funny because he's happy. And so I just wanted to ask you.
Who are you talking about? Because Patrice O'Neill's left us since 2011. It's confusing
Right.
to follow.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
sorry.
it was a rerun.
It was an old interview. I'm sorry.
Ah.
It was not a recent interview. My
So
bad.
looking less refreshed.
Yes.
Couldn't be.
But he was talking about Marc Marron and the happiness of Marc Marron, and Marc Marron was saying that he's less funny because he's happy. And so I just wanted to ask you, because you seem happier now, if you find that it has anything to do, happiness or unhappiness, with how funny you can be.
First off, I don't buy into that cliche that, if you're happy and well adjusted, you can't be creative. I've never bought into that. That's a myth that people are like, out of my torment came this great art. Usually the great art comes once you're done dealing with your torment and can look at it from a level of sanity and some happiness. It can't come from pure torment. And as far as being a Marc Marron baby, I wear my influences on my sleeve. So Marc was a huge influence. My friend Blaine Capatch was a huge influence. Bill Hicks. I mean, everyone is. And Bill Hicks. I mean, Marc Marron is kind of a Bill Hicks baby. Like, we all keep influencing each other, and then an influence helps you, if anything, figure out who you are even better. So I'm not one of those guys, again, I don't believe in the whole myth of, I am absolutely unique and nothing influenced me. Well, that's clearly not true. Everyone is influenced by somebody, and get over the anxiety of that. Get over yourself and just enjoy your influences.
Are you at your most confident right now?
No, I'm not. I'm still, I'm not 100% confident all the time, not just in myself, but just in reality. Reality seems to be fracturing a little bit and fraying. So I don't really know, as confident as I am in myself, I don't know how confident I am in the world around me anymore. Take that how you want to, but I still think that you can find creativity and joy in the darkness. You have to. That's the only way to. That's the most vengeful thing you can do against darkness and sadness, is to be happy and celebrate and be funny and be a friggin' goofball.
That's interesting what you're saying, though. You're talking about the world around you. I was talking about confidence in your comedy, not confidence in the world or confidence overall. Or although I guess all of those things jumble together when you're a comedian and you're pouring yourself into your content every day.
Look, I think that the MC in Cabaret was very confident in his performing and comedy abilities. But I also think he was pretty aware of what was happening in the world around him. So yeah, I'm very confident in my comedy, mainly because I've been doing it 35 years. But it's going to be really interesting to see where comedy ends up holding a place in the world that's to come, if that makes sense.
It does. And Billy and Chris's ideas for game shows make slightly less sense. I look forward.
Hang on. By the way, I hope I'm not bumming everyone out. I'm not some guy holding a sandwich board saying the end is near. I just think a big change is coming. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all shakes out.
Actually, when I saw you in Los Angeles, though, it was in a show, I think, the next day Marron performed, and both of you were saying the end is near. Both of you were talking about the idea of how hard this, not how hard this is to do, but just the idea that it feels like we've got about 9 years left in the world before it explodes.
Yeah, it does feel like, it feels like the first verse of that David Bowie song, 5 years, and then what are we going to do in the time that's left of us, to us? Oh man, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be a fun.
What are we
We're
doing
going to
here?
lighten it up right now. This is my fault. This is my fault. We're going to lighten it up right now.
The good news is if Marc Marron said in the Patrice O'Neal interview he was wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Billy, what is your game show idea for Patton Oswalt?
Okay, Patton, I have two options here for you, two pitches for you, if you will. And they're kind of different, but I don't know if it's what you'd like, so I have like different types of shows here. The first one is called Patton Pending, okay? So think of a show like Shark Tank, right? And people come to you and they have pitches and they want to see if you're in on this, whether it be a product or whether it be a project. And if you like it, you give your patented Patton Pending approval to the product.
So it's just Shark Tank.
No, it's Patton Pending.
Right. You listening?
His name is Patton.
Yeah.
Right.
Pending. But hang on. Are they only pitching products? Can they also be pitching like a film idea?
Absolutely.
Song?
Yeah.
It's anything they want to bring, and then I say whether we should pursue that, or it's not so much that whether I'm investing in them.
No.
It's me going, hey, keep doing this, or
No.
oh, dude, get off of this track right now.
No.
Oh
No, you've overcomplicated this. You don't say
Okay,
yes.
I'm
You
so
don't
sorry.
say.
Go ahead.
You don't give them advice. You give them your patented Patent Pending.
But what's that mean? He's asking, what's that mean when he does
Well,
that?
it's a patent pending. Yeah.
So-
He
Yeah,
approves
you
the
mentioned
project
that.
or the
You
product or song or what have
Does
you.
he have to invest, though, is what he's saying?
Well, it's a patent pending.
Pending.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
pending.
pending.
It's his
Got it.
patented
Okay.
patent pending
All right.
because he does it a lot on the
Right,
shows.
yes.
Patented patent pending.
Yes.
You in on
It
this or?
needs a few more. It needs some more layers.
If
I'm
we
sorry.
if we were on this show right now, would you give me your patented patent pending?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right. It's been rejected.
Well, I have another one.
His body language was so good when he was hearing your pitch.
Okay. Now this one, think of it more like American Idol or America's Got Talent for the theater, right? This one's called Patton Harvey Oswalt. And what you do is you have a number of theater people, performances, plays that you want to happen in the future, and they come and they're pitching it to you. And then if you like it, you see out the rest of the play. But if you don't like it, you assassinate Abraham Lincoln.
Come on.
Instead
Come
of hitting
on.
like the X, you assassinate Abraham Lincoln.
These are terrible ideas.
Patton Harvey Oswalt.
Well, no, it was John
Well,
Wilkes Booth.
It would be. Look, that is beyond grim and sad. However, you could make it fun if every week there's a different guest, a celebrity Lincoln that gets fake assassinated. So this week. So what we
Could
do
it
is
be
like,
celebrities?
But at the
that's
theater,
funny, like you bring celebrities in to play Lincoln. So it's like everyone who doesn't love actor Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Well, Don Cheadle will be playing Lincoln, and then that puts pressure on the people. Like, hey, you don't want to see Don Cheadle get assassinated, so let's really give it your best shot here.
Well, hold on. I'm rethinking this, and I think you'd have to be at a book depository instead of a theater, and then it wouldn't be Lincoln. It would be Kennedy.
Well, Don
Yeah,
Cheadle.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
You know that.
But you could get a car
Oswald didn't
sponsorship
do
involved in
Lincoln.
it as well. You could get a car sponsorship to
Right.
drive around the celebrities, and based on I guess this would be less about theater and more about parades. If you like, maybe we do this around Thanksgiving time, and they're auditioning for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and you think if it's a good act for the parade, then you kind of let the car dealership and the celebrity keep going. And if not, then,
should I make him
you know how
stop
that
talking,
goes.
Patton?
You're using a lot of colors in this painting, is all I'm saying.
I paint with a broad brush.
Why didn't you pitch that Oswald has a bullet that can travel backwards in time and kill Lincoln? And then that way we could tie both assassinations together.
Huh.
I like that.
You think he's using a lot of colors in this painting, and you just made Don Cheadle Abraham Lincoln.
Well, listen, he's a great actor. I can't imagine a role he couldn't pull off.
Put it on the poll.
Kleinfeld.
Put it on the poll, Juju at LeBatard Show. Do you think Don Cheadle can pull off the role of Abraham Lincoln?
I absolutely think he can.
Let's.
So was that a yes? Patent pending on that idea?
I'm sorry, but no. But
Okay.
it was. Here's what I did. Listen, can I pitch a game show?
I guess, but
Wait. Yes, I need to tell everybody he's the host of the big new game show, The 1% Club. It premieres next Thursday for Prime Video subscribers, then Mondays at 9 p.m. on Fox starting June 3rd, plus the next day on Prime. Is that what you wanted to pitch or something else?
Well, I did want to pitch. Who was just pitching to me? What's his name again? I'm sorry.
Billy.
Roy.
Billy, a show where you pitched game shows would be weirdly entertaining.
Okay.
I like it.
Here's what I want to call it. It's called Bus Stop with Billy. And we have different commuters, and then you come and sit next to them at the bus stop and start yammering like a crazy person. And game shows to them, and we see how long they can last before they go, screw this, I'm calling an Uber and getting out of
Okay,
here.
how about
Before they
this?
tap out.
How about this? Where's Oswaldo?
Oh, good God.
Okay, we would show you a busy photo, like in Where's Waldo, except there's a little picture of you hidden inside of it.
I like it.
That you would have to find. Where's Oswaldo?
How about Aswalt my gum? And it's people, how much chewing gum can you swallow and digest and while naming movies and TV shows that I've been in? Again, that's just off the top of my head.
Do you believe that it takes 7 years for your body to process gum? Because then is this like a long play where we see it go all the way through you?
It's like the Up documentaries. We got to visit them every 7 years and see how the gum's being digested.
Huh.
Billy, do you
I
have
thought Up was about like an old man and balloons and such.
Well, yes, but there's also these cool documentaries where they visit these people every 7 years.
me.
Really awesome.
Do you
How
have
about General Patton? So in this situation, there's a sports tie-in for General Patton.
we
So
go.
obviously the NBA and the NHL playoffs are happening right now. Seasons are on the line. Things are going down to the wire. But, as go sports, there's a team on the brink of elimination. Seasons will be ended. Careers will end. So you need someone to come in and give a speech. And that's where you come in. An inspiring speech from General Patton. And you're named General Patton in this. You would play the role of General Patton.
Am I on an actual show right now, or are my PR guys playing a prank?
Are we at a bus stop or
Is this an actual show, or did you guys build this today just to mess with me?
this was a terrible idea, poorly executed, but he's got a good idea that's well executed as the new game show host for the 1% Club.
Wow, good save, Dan. Way to get us out of that cul-de-sac, buddy.
This quicksand we've fallen into. It premieres next Thursday for Prime Video subscribers, then Mondays, 9 p.m. on Fox starting June 3rd, plus the next day on Prime as well. Do you mind if we play a little 1% Club with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it.
He minds. That's
All
what I
right.
meant.
This is question number 1. 80% of Americans got this question. Patton, do you mind reading this if it's on the screen, if you can see it on the screen,
Yes.
and if your PR people are not playing a prank on you? 80% of Americans got this. Let's put this on the screen for Patton Oswalt. General Patton.
All right, I'm looking for it. Is it in the chat?
It's
or is it
coming.
on
No,
the
it's
screen?
coming. It's a slow burn.
Okay.
It's a slow burn.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Mr. and Mrs. Kim have 5 sons. Each son has 1 sister. How many children do the Kims have? Your 30 seconds starts now.
Go ahead, Stugatz. Mr. and Mrs. Kim have 5 sons. Each son has 1
stall
sister.
tactic?
How many
How
children?
many children do the Kims have? I can read. I see it. Where are they from? Where are they from?
What do you mean?
Know where they're from.
Des
I'm
Moines.
interested. Oh, that changes everything. I'm going to say 5.
All right. Do you want the answer?
I'm not sure.
I don't have the answer.
Oh.
I think it's 6.
Yeah, it's 6, right?
6.
It's 6.
Oh, go! Thank God.
Yeah, but Des Moines.
So people got that one wrong.
Well, no, 80% of Americans got this right. This one, only 45% of Americans got this. Let's put this up on the screen.
Here we go. They get hard really quick.
Question
Ready?
number 2.
What are the only 3 letters that appear in the names of every day of the week?
Wait a minute. That one's not.
I know.
I think Stugotz can get this one right. You have 30 seconds, Stugotz. Only 45. This one's hard to believe that only 45% of Americans
It's weird.
got this right. Go ahead, Stugotz.
Where are they from?
Oh, God.
The Americans who got this right?
Yes.
They're from America. Scott.
That changes
They're
everything.
from
Okay.
North America.
D-A-Y.
There it is. Look at Stugotz. Way to go.
Smart guy.
Patton, why do you love doing this show? A game show host seems perfect for you. You get to ad-lib all the time and have interplay with people that have to be funny.
That's exactly why I love it. We have these contestants. The contestants are the audience. It's 100 people, and some of them have the wildest backstories. And I just talk with them, and we all play off each other, and you kind of follow these little mini dramas as they march toward the 1%. And that in itself is fascinating to me. I love it.
Do you have, if I can do some biographical stuff with you, because I've got a million curiosities, do you have a project that you've done that represents the most fun for you, that you, and it's different from having the most pride in a project that you've produced?
Oh, boy. I mean, the one that I had the most fun doing, there was a documentary that I produced called The Comedians of Comedy, and it's just my friends and I. It's me, Brian Posehn, Zach Galifianakis, Maria Bamford. We're just on the road, traveling in a van, doing little music clubs, and that whole process of making it, first a documentary, then we did a 6-episode TV show. It was pure fun. It was just hanging out with my friends and filming each other, and I loved it.
Have you been able to recreate that anywhere? Just screw it, because I can't imagine creatively there would be anything more fun than being able to just create content all the time, riffing among equals on stuff that allows you to say yes and.
It was really fun. I've never been able to recreate it. I'm kind of happy that I haven't been able to, only because it was lightning in a bottle. It was a very specific time in all of our lives where we were young and just kind of stupid and really loose. And now we're all, older and varying degrees of success. It would be hard for us to all get back together and get back in the van at this point in our lives. So it's just good that record exists of, oh, look at us just hanging out and being weirdos. I love it.
Is there a role above all others that people want to talk to you about? If it's Goldberg's, Parks and Rec, King of Queens.
People really like King of Queens. They really like Ratatouille. I also get a lot of sports people really, really love Big Fan because, especially if you listen to sports radio, there are people like that call in. And there are fans like that you will encounter if you're a fan of a sports team. And so that seems to have that's a little film that resonated with a lot of people.
How the hell, what do you say to fans who come up to you and it's a parking attendant, right? He's addicted to the New York Giants?
He is a completely obsessed fan, obsessed with one player, one team, and that's his life. He doesn't want anything else out of life but just to watch his football team. And I just get a lot of people going, I know someone like that, or like my cousin is like that, or my brother was like that, or like that's someone that a lot of people have encountered, weirdly enough, and that's kind of cool.
Acting isn't as cool as comedy, right? It's stand-up is your favorite thing.
Well, stand-up is the one thing where there's no notes. It's just me. That's all it is. Acting is a collaborative thing. Writing is collaborative, eventually making movies. Stand-up is the one thing where it's you. It's whatever's in your head. You walk out, one microphone, that's it. It was fantastic.
What's more difficult?
sometimes comedy can be difficult if you're trying out something new and you haven't found a way into it. But for the most part, acting tends to be more difficult because it just there's so much more energy involved and being aware and listening to all these different things and being aware of the camera and the light and there's a million things going on in your head while you're trying to seem very, very natural and nonchalant.
That's super interesting because I've always thought that stand-up comedy is the hardest thing. And it's not hard for you because you've been doing it for 35 years.
Been doing it for so long. I mean, I'm sure if you talked to me 20 years ago, I'm like, stand-up's really hard. But when you've been doing it as long as I have, it's actually, there's no difference between me off stage and on stage. I can just walk up there and I just talk to people and it's fantastic. It just feels really, really real to me.
How do you deal with hecklers?
I'm really good with hecklers. Not that I'm so quick-witted. It's that I have dealt with hecklers, again, for 35 years. I've lost a lot of times. Hecklers have beat me in the past. And then the next day you wake up and go, oh, that didn't even matter. So now I'm fearless because I know in the end I still win. They came to see the show. I have their money. There's a light on me and I have a microphone. I'm going to win.
Oh, but that's a good attitude to have, right? I heard Seinfeld talking the other day about a heckler that got him in '93 that still, it stays with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You would think with his level of success, he would go, maybe that guy was wrong.
Yeah, but,
I seem to have evidence that he wasn't right.
oh, but you know how much insecurity your business is filled with, right?
Don't even get me started.
I mean, right? Like it's why I asked you about confidence. Even hell, in the same interview I was talking about with Maron, because he says he's happier, one of the things he was saying is, well, once you eliminate all of the other anxieties in my life, all I'm on stage with is my fear. All that's left is my fear.
But fear and anxiety are very much the same thing. You know, anxiety comes from this undercurrent of fear, of loss of control. So if anything, it seems like he just transferred his comedic creativity from his anxiety to his fear. He compensated in a very messed up way.
What's your relationship with fear as it relates to this?
I mean, my relationship with fear is I try to look at fear and jealousy and anxiety as maps rather than enemies. You know, fear was a tool that kept us alive. It was the being afraid of the saber-toothed tiger, and anyone else with a big rock or a spear is what helped us pass our genes along. So as long as you don't let fear freeze you and you go, oh no, this is actually a tool and a map to who I actually am and who I maybe really, really want, you can make fear work for you. And you can make fear really funny if you just embrace it and admit to it.
How the hell did you learn that? There seems to be some real
trial and error, my friend. And also I learned that from all the years of denying fear. There's a great novelist named George Saunders, and he goes, if you have a problem and you don't acknowledge it, if you deny your problem, now you have two problems. So once I read that, I was like, oh, that's okay. That's true.
What about a show where you have people conquer their fears, and sometimes it's eat nasty cockroaches, and other times you're, for whatever reason, hanging on top of like a taxi cab that's suspended over water, and you have to jump from one side to another and grab a flag and then put it in, and then whoever performs the worst each round gets eliminated, and at the end you see who has the best fear factor.
Yeah, you're saying that so you're saying fear would be a factor in this show?
Yes.
Wow.
I'd even call it that, probably, fear factor, maybe.
Yeah.
That sounds like a kind of show you could then years later launch like a podcast empire.
Yeah.
Make $200 million. And
think of all the comedians.
I don't know. That actually sounds pretty good. That sounds very tempting.
The Effervescent Tour is what he is doing right now. You still love touring? You still love the grind?
To me, it's not. The only grind is the airport. And I've traveled long enough that I know how to make airport travel kind of easy and chill. I know little shortcuts around things. But being in a new city, walking around during the day, looking at life, going up on stage, I'll never get enough of it. It's really fun. It's fun. It's really fun.
Tickets for the tour, you can get them at PattonOswalt.com. And what he says is true. It seems like his personality. He just walks out there and is himself. That's certainly an easier way to do it.
What are the secrets of the airport, though?
Yeah, we got to get. We'll let you go on.
Is it a private jet?
It's patented.
No, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not a private jet. I'm not. You're not talking to Kevin Hart. I don't have a private jet.
I like Patton's patented secrets for airport travel as
what are they?
As a travel show or as a, do you have a couple of little shortcuts for the audience?
One of the secrets, and again, one of the secrets comes from traveling so much and getting so many miles. If you travel anywhere, I don't care what airline it is, log your frigate, join every mileage program you can. Do not own a credit card unless it earns miles, because that will earn you, even if you're flying coach, you can get early boarding, you can get, and whatever it costs, get either clear or TSA pre-check. It makes things 10 times easier.
Well, that's not
and also never check a bag. If you can avoid it, never check a bag, ever.
Yep.
All right, a makeup competition, Patton Rouge, based in Louisiana.
I love that.
You can get tickets to the tour, PattonOswalt.com.
He's so confused and frustrated.
And the 1% Club premieres next Thursday.
Billy will do this to you. I mean,
for Prime subscribers.
Patton, just from talking
Patton,
to Billy.
You got it for 20 minutes. I've had it for 20 years. That has stood in the
Billy, does Billy know that? Does he feel like he's still talking to me, or is he just kind of talking into the ether?
It only takes one to hit, Patton.
Oh, okay. That's okay. All right.
The 1% Club premieres next Thursday for Prime subscribers, Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and the next day on Prime. Patton, lovely talking to you. I hope we didn't run you off forever. I'm headed to Los Angeles, and I want to do a South Beach session with you. I hope we didn't.
I would love to. Dude, this was a friggin' blast. I love podcasts like this where it's just controlled chaos. Bring Billy with you, but here's what I want. I want Billy to sit on pitches for 2 weeks, and then when he sees me, just blurt every insane notion out of his skull. I can't wait.
There is no shot Dan's bringing Billy on vacation with him.
I might bring Billy out there.
The first victim of Patton Harvey Oswald.
See you later, Patton. Thank you, sir.
All right. See you soon, man. Thanks.
All right, here at Oddball, Charlotte Wilder, Amin Elhassan. Amin, we have a very big story that we have to talk about. Can you tell the good folks of the internet what that is?
Them damn Denver Nuggets, one win away from the conference finals.
Boy, they did it again.
You know, they got their mascot was like a prospector. It was like
like a man.
Yeah.
Like the felt skin.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Oh my God, it's so creepy.
Yeah.
So creepy, but so
Really
apropos.
Yeah, well, because you can't really do much. They're terrifying. They whooped the Nuggets in Game 5. It was 112-97.
Yeah. Jokic delivered the type of virtuoso performance that, as I said the other day, it's like James the Grim Reaper Roper telling Irish Terry Conklin, "You're trying to embarrass me on TV," and then just whooping his ass.
Yeah, and the Wolves did try to. They did embarrass them on TV twice.
Yes.
In the first 2 games of the series.
A lot of woofing too.
Yes.
A lot of woofing, and not just because they're Wolves.
And Edwards saying, "I don't want to be compared to Michael Jordan. I want to be compared to Anthony Edwards." It's like, well, you didn't win the series yet.
Yeah, well.
And now it's looking like you might not.
So this is the interesting thing for me, watching Game 5, was seeing Rudy Gobert, who is a very polarizing figure, right? Like half the population says, "Oh, how good of a defensive player can he be if he always gets played off the floor in the playoffs? And this dude is, he's one-dimensional and yada, 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 is overrated as a defender." And then the other half is like, "No, it's not true. It's because his teammates were bad. He didn't get played off. It was whatever. And, that hasn't happened to him in Minnesota, whatever." And it felt like after Game 5, those two groups were united like, yeah, man, Jesus couldn't have stopped that dude. Look at this video right here. You mean to tell me you think that there's a soul on earth who, as soon as we play this video, you'll see that could stop this man? Anyone at all can hit play on the video. There it is.
There's a Jokic montage.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, this is a video of all these stars working out in the offseason, getting their bodies right, interspliced with footage of Jokic partying in Serbia, horse racing, dancing around, and not working out. And it is wild that this is the man who embarrasses other grown men repeatedly. Because, I mean, I watched Game 5, and I was like, oh, so how does anybody stop this? How, like, imagining, say the Celtics face him in the finals.
The last part of the video is him falling off a boat into the water.
That's your MVP, folks.
By the way, I've never seen someone want to get it over with as quickly as like, yeah, thanks. All right, here's my trophy.
Yeah.
And he was
they gave him the trophy before the game, and he's like,
cool.
oh, yay. Which he literally did when they announced it. He went, yay, excited.
He's, look, I meant what I said about Rudy Gobert. There's no one can blame him. No one can say, because nobody could have, the stuff that he was doing, he had that one dream shake move on the right block where he goes left, right, and then just floats it up off the glass. He had the other one where he came with the left hand coming down the other side of the floor. It was just any way he wants to do it. And I cannot stress this enough. And maybe this ties into the conversation about Caitlin Clark, right? When you're a great player, they might figure you out for a little bit, but if they keep doing the same thing, the great player figures you out back.
Yes.
And then it goes somewhere else. Jalen Brunson, another thing, right? Indiana, for 2 games in Indiana, seemed to have the antidote for Jalen Brunson. And a little help with his foot hurting. But in Game 5, it's like, oh, that's what you want to do? Okay, then I'm just going to do this.
Yes.
Right? There's a chess match that's happening throughout all these games. And the problem is, when you're dealing with Jokic, you're dealing with a chess player who's also 7 feet tall.
Massive.
Right? It's not like Brunson at some point you can physically overcome or whatever. This dude is like, what are you going to do?
And he says, what are you going to do while doing things that a 7-foot tall guy who sort of lumbers down the court does not look like he should do. And I still think there's a piece of that catches guys by surprise. He moves in ways where you can see them be like, there's no way he's going to do that, even though he has been doing that for so long. And I think, Amin, that what I've loved so much about these playoffs is watching the creativity. Tom Ziller in his amazing newsletter, Good Morning It's Basketball, wrote about this being Jokic's piece de resistance, about Game 5, where the creativity that he showed to get around anything they throwed at him,
Yeah, that's the word now.
anything they throwed at him, was just a beautiful thing to watch.
Look, the man who built the Denver Nuggets, Tim Connolly, he left before they won the championship. He went to Minnesota, and he built the anti-Nugget.
The GM?
Right? Yes. Tim Connolly, the chief basketball decision maker for now the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he built the Wolves to be the anti-Nuggets. He built basically Bizarro Superman over here. If they can't, and they were the number 1 defense in the league, right? By far.
Yes.
If they can't stop this guy, and they have the personnel and the execution and the coaching and all that, if they can't stop him, who's left? You think either Dallas or OKC has someone that can match up with that? You think the Celtics or the Knicks? This is it. This is the Alamo.
This is it. And last year in the finals, when the Heat and the Celtics were battling it out, I kept feeling like whoever does make it there, the Denver Nuggets were this buzzsaw, just waiting for them.
Yep.
And it feels like that again.
Yes.
And I feel like they are getting hot in the playoffs at the right moment too. They have figured out some stuff. Jamal Murray stopped throwing ice packs or whatever it was he was doing.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully, don't do that again, Jamal. And they're on a heater.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to just say this real quick. The Athletic is reporting that the Pistons have interest in getting Tim Connolly. So it's like, would he build the anti? Like, how many versions can he keep building?
And how many years is it going to take him in Detroit to do that? Can we play a little game?
Yeah, because the Detroit thing has really brought me down.
It's too depressing. Yeah, this is the playoffs. We're celebrating excellence. Jokic and the Nuggets are not even the most watchable part of this season, perhaps, depending on how we rank these. Because we're going to rank these teams, playoff teams, by how much fun they are to watch.
Yeah, man.
And the tiers that we have are the bottom tier at 5 is I'd rather watch the eclipse without glasses. Tier 4 is I'd rather watch Netflix while checking the score.
Okay.
Tier 3 is watching with the TV on mute, but you're scrolling on your phone. Tier 2 is at home yelling at the TV and scaring your neighbors. And then the first tier, the top tier, is drunk and shirtless outside Madison Square Garden, a TV.
Yeah.
So we each have a separate list here.
Yes.
But we have to agree on our final oddball list.
Yes.
So let's start at the bottom. Let's start at, what do you have at 5?
Oh, I mean, this one's easy. It's the Cavs. I can't. I mean, look, I watch them because that's my job.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit here and say it's been fun watching them.
No.
It's not fun watching two guys take turns. Like, hey, now it's my turn to shoot. Now it's your turn to shoot.
And then sometimes it's just Donovan Mitchell's turn to shoot. Well, that's funny, Amin, because mine has to do with the Cavs. It's not the Cavs.
Yeah.
It's just the Celtics in Game 2s. It's just Celtics in round 1 playing the Heat. It's the Celtics playing the Cavs. The only thing worse than watching a Cavs game is watching the Celtics get blown out by that Cavs team.
Yeah, that's.
So what are we going to do? We're going to leave them both up there?
Do we have the consensus now? Let's just go through the rest of the list and we'll go there.
What do you have at 4?
At 4, I got to consult my phone here. 4. Oh, this is easy because injuries just kind of made them not fun. They were a fun team in regular season, and then, they're missing their big star, Zion Williamson. It's the Pelicans. They got swept, and it just, I didn't feel good watching OKC just beat them up. It's like, all right, man, it's dead. Just let them go.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. That's funny because I have another team at 4 that got swept, the Suns.
Oh, yeah. That
because
wasn't
the
funny
Wolves
either.
just mopped the floor with them. And it's sad because you have Durant, you have Bradley Beal, you have Devin Booker, these generational players who it just did not work.
I want to be clear for everybody that we're not saying like these are the best or worst teams, but we're just saying the games were boring.
Yes.
Right? And so next at 3, I would
or just didn't feel it didn't feel electric.
Yeah, I was just like,
it has nothing to do with the people, with the players, or their quality,
or even their success.
Exactly,
even their success.
Yeah.
3.
What do you have at 3?
3. I've got the Wolves. Now this is funny because 3 is watching the TV on mute but scrolling on the phone. Mm-hmm. But really, what I'm saying here is it's an average, right?
Yeah.
Because their most exciting moments, they are very exciting. Anthony Edwards is very exciting to watch. But then there are times they're just like they look so dumb and lost, and a lot of that is Denver. we'll be honest.
Yeah,
but
a lot of that is that. See, I'm gonna break convention here and go to 2 real quick before I tell you 3 because I have the Wolves
at 2.
Yes, because of those moments that are so great. But I'm going to agree with you that they're 3. I'm taking mine away. So they are. I agree that they're 3. Part of me. I think that I've been so broken this year as a Celtics fan in the playoffs because the games are either blowouts or in those game 2s, as I said, they're getting blown out. And I think I'm still dealing with some trauma from last year that I sort of feel like the Celtics have been a 3 for me in terms of my emotional. And everybody's getting mad at people from Boston. Can I say something? Yep. People from Boston are getting mad at me on the internet for being like, you're not a real fan. I am a real fan. I'm just being honest about it.
A realist. You know what? I'm going to change mine. Can I change mine, Ant? Is that a thumbs up? Yes, I can. Change mine to Celtics. Yeah. Get the Wolves out of here. Okay. The Wolves were fun. I think like this is a little recency bias.
I think so too.
Of just being embarrassed the way they've been because they're fun to watch. Yeah. It's the Celtics.
It's the Celtics.
Celtics, even when they win, it's boring. These have been boring games from the Celtics.
I know. God. Well,
they're boring. I said it.
If they keep being boring and winning, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, it is fun when it's exciting. Anyway, at 2, I'm gonna put the Thunder.
The Thunder have you yelling at your TV?
Because I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander so much. Mm-hmm. He does things that it's like a graceful Jokic, except smaller and slimmer. Yeah. And not really like Jokic at all, but it's really fun.
Dude, number 2 for me is the Nuggets.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I have them.
So Jamal Murray 2 game winners, including the one where Anthony Davis falls into their bench while they're celebrating.
Well, that's
you got the Jokic virtuoso performance in Game 5. You got the Game 4 where they won the series in the last 20 seconds of the first half.
That's why I have the Nuggets tied with the Knicks for number 1.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes,
yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that, but this is our show.
I guess it might be harder on the graphic guy who's scrolling up and like, wait.
Who do you have at 1?
Oh, it's outside of Madison Square Garden. The Knicks, every game they played has been fun. Like, it's the only team in the playoffs that every game I watch of them, even last night, they won by 1,000,000 points. Or not last night, whatever night it was. Whatever night it was, right?
Time is a social construct.
It is. Even in that game, it gives me 90s playoff energy vibes.
Yes.
Like where everything counts, everything matters.
It was Goosebumps City. I can't wait. Just keep it going, Nix. We want to keep watching you.
Brad Williams in the rain joins us professionally.
We're outside the hospital where that dog ate that heart.
Yes, let's go to Brad Williams because weirdly, I didn't understand where it is that this popped up from. The other day, Brad Williams just texts me because he listens to our show. I've ended 2 fights with headbutts. And I was wondering about, you guys never got me an answer. Tyson Fury's father, how many times has he been in prison? Because you gave me the 1 11-year stint, but I assume there were more times that he was in jail.
I think that was a bid.
So the reason I asked the question is because he decided to end a fight with a headbutt, and I don't understand the mentality. So Brad Williams is joining us now. Explain the mentality to me as an expert headbutter, please. And you ended these fights because I have further questions about, like, how everything happened there. He joins us from the rain and where. Give us more information on this exclusive report, Brad.
I feel like if you saw the movie Starship Troopers, this is the reporter from the bug planet right before he gets stabbed by the aliens. I'm in Peoria, Illinois, doing a show, and it's raining. And this is the only place where I could set up and not disturb anybody outside the venue.
I want you to get really wet while doing this as part of the promotion of your stand-up act.
Baby.
Where else will you be going over the course of the next few days and weeks so that our audience can rally to support a comedian who's willing to get wet on behalf of our show?
Listen, I'm going to Rockford, Illinois, Joliet, Illinois, Carlton, Minnesota. Jealous? Of course you are. But I'm going all over the country. There's a Miami date in June at the Fania Hotel in Miami Beach. So go to bradwilliamscomedy.com and watch my new special, Starfish, which is streaming for free on YouTube. There, the plugs are out of the way. Let's get to some headbutt talk.
I know, but I don't think you promoted in Miami Beach. Are you sure that that's the right address you have for where it is you're going to be playing in Miami? Because I'd like to get that right.
It's always been a tricky pronunciation for me too. How do you pronounce it?
Fania?
Faena? I always heard Faena.
Well, he's saying Dania and it's Faena, and those are two very different places. And so I'm not sure. He's not in Dania.
He's in Miami this time. He's usually in Dania, but he's in Miami Beach this time.
It's a very poor promotion of what he's doing here in South Florida.
Very expensive woolly mammoth bones.
It is the most.
Oh, that's that place.
Well,
we went
it's
to
the
dinner
most
there once.
expensive hotel in Miami, and it's much different than Dania. So are you sure it's Faena in Miami Beach and not in Dania?
Yes, it is. Fiana.
Okay, that's not pronounced correctly. You're not doing any of
Google
this.
Miami Beach elephant bones expensive.
That hotel.
He's there.
That hotel. Yeah, I don't know why I'm going to the most expensive hotel. I'm thinking there's just a really rich person that wants that is like, bring me my joke midget, and then I'm supposed to come and make them laugh.
Brad, it's the coolest hotel in Miami. It is levels above where it is that you're presently playing.
You also shouldn't say that word.
What word? Levels above?
That word's no longer accepted in our culture, but if you're saying it,
it's not?
What am I? No, it's little person now. It's not an accepted.
Okay, well, it's a good thing you're informing me. I'll consult the elders at the meeting, and
why can't I say it? He can say it.
Yeah, come on, dwarf. Fine, all right, we're doing this thing. Okay, but
did you headbutt another little person,
or was this a crotch shot?
We lost his
Zoom
shot.
is gone.
We lost his shot from the rain and
I really could have done with his laugh because I felt vulnerable running with that one.
We needed his support on that one.
We offended him there.
And then it fell out. We will wait for a second until this comes back.
You better come back and say it's okay for me to say that.
Lucy, what didn't we get to today that you wanted to get to today? Because we left a lot on the table before we brought Brad Williams on here. Is there any subject matter that you wanted to get to?
Yeah, Lucy, if I may.
Go for it.
A raccoon was on an MLS pitch for 161 seconds, and they had a devil of a time trying
Always
to wrangle
great.
him.
The
Always
animals
great.
on the field,
Always great. And always like an extra a speckle of intrigue when it's not a dog or a cat. It's something that could potentially, even those animals can also give you rabies. But anytime you see a raccoon out in this scenario, you're like, oh, okay, there's an extra element of danger here. But yeah, he was all over the field. I saw heat maps on this raccoon. They've called him Raquinho. It's not every day that you're just casually, well, for me it is because I got the under, but you're just casually watching midweek MLS and you see a game halted for 161 seconds while this raccoon,
There you go.
very cute, being chased by a man with a garbage can. So that was one of the things that I enjoyed in sports last night. There was another thing, but Brad is here to answer my question. Did you headbutt another little person?
Brad, I'd prefer if you put that sideways again, given how this is going. Can you make that sideways again?
More vulnerability. I could really use.
I'll put it on a
in there.
diagonal.
Yes.
How's that?
That's good.
That's all right.
Ask him the question again,
Just
Mike.
one more time.
Most vulnerably, please.
Did you headbutt another little person?
Did I get canceled for saying the M word? Is that what kicked me off?
M is what he said there.
M word. M.
If I said the other one, I would absolutely get canceled, and I would support that.
Not if you openly complain about it and go on like a Rogan podcast. I think you're good.
Brad, I insist.
I think that makes you the #1 country music artist on the planet, actually.
Brad, I insist that you answer Mike Ryan's question, please.
Did you headbutt another little person?
No, because if I headbutt another dwarf, then I'm sure a portal opens to heaven, or we just explode into candy like two piñatas. That did not happen. But the headbutt is that, and a battle axe are the natural weapons of a little person, because our heads are massive. There's a lot of cranium there, and the two times I ended a fight with a headbutt was with an average sized person. Both times, because they came up from behind me and picked me up, which I hate. You do not pick up a dwarf. I'm pretty sure that's 7 years bad luck. But people like to do this with little people a lot. They like to pick us up, and I'm a man. I'm 40. I don't have the far right leanings of Mike Gundy, but yes, I don't like getting picked up. And both times I got picked up during another altercation, and I just threw my head back and hit the person's nose. It exploded into blood.
That's not a headbutt.
That's not as badass.
Not a headbutt.
That's not as badass.
Also, not a headbutt. Not a headbutt. It does not qualify for what it is that I'm talking about.
No, that's a headbutt. It's a headbutt.
Yeah, but it's just not as intimidating a headbutt.
It also doesn't tell you about the character of a person the same way going front on. You see my face, I'm going in forehead first. This is why I would not accuse Brad Williams of being in prison. The mentality of a headbutter has to be front.
Both times were with the back of the head, huh?
Both times.
Both times were at the back of the head. I'm pretty sure if I used the front with my forehead, that would be considered assault with a deadly weapon. This is a very large forehead. It would definitely do some damage. So I showed mercy by using the back of my head during these altercations.
I think the back of the head's more. You're saying it's like less surprising. I think it's more surprising.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's less surprising. I'm saying it's less of a headbutt to use the butt of your head. I'm saying to use the forehead on a headbutt.
He's risking less by doing it this way.
It's more aggressive and more character telling if someone goes in forehead first, which is what I thought he was describing.
Right, because of the whole mutually assured destruction of it all.
Do you disagree with this, Brad? This is not a traditional headbutt.
I was definitely in a panic when it was happening. I don't know, you guys. Dan, I doubt you've ever been lifted off the ground in a surprise way during an altercation. But when it happens, you use whatever weapons are at your disposal.
That's a good point.
In my case, it was just my giant cranium.
I am not rejecting that what you did was necessary, and I salute you for making multiple noses explode. I just don't define that as a headbutt.
It's just not as badass.
And it's also not as character defining about who someone is. When I'm saying of Tyson Fury's father, that person's been in prison if that's how he problem solves.
Right, because it gives off, I don't give a shit about my face if I'm willing to use my face as a weapon. Like, what you can do to me won't hurt me because I'll do it myself. Whereas if it's the back of the head, that's not really the moneymaker.
Brad, did you consider the kick in the groin? Because when they lift you, you could have also done a back kick right in their midsection.
I have considered that. Normally, I think because with my head, that's more of a direct knowledge of how this weapon works. The kick to the groin, normally my feet are not anywhere near someone's groin area. I cannot get them up that high, so I'm not as deadly with my feet. But with the head, pretty darn accurate. Now, a punch to the groin, that's like a straight ahead thing for me. That's just doing.
That's what I thought.
Have you done that?
I honestly thought the headbutt was a groin punch when you first said I ended 2 fights with a
groin
headbutt.
shot.
Yeah.
No, this was someone picking me up Lion King style, and me just not liking that and throwing the head back.
Can I get the
last time it
backstory?
happened was in college.
Can I get the backstory on what the fight was before that? Because you're saying someone came up to you in a fight to pick you up as if they were going to throw you or something.
Yeah, it was okay. I'll get into the weeds as much as I can on this fight, but the last one in college was me and my sister went to college together. We both went to USC, and there was an altercation between her and a gentleman, and I decided to get in there and protect my sister, and someone else from behind lifted me and then threw back the head.
Nose explosion. You have to wipe the blood off the back of your head because your hair is covered in nose explosion.
Yeah, it was great. Now, nose explosion is something different than what Mike Ryan does on the weekends when he DJs. This was just an explosion of blood.
I actually liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I liked
Even though I've never done cocaine.
An explosion of blood.
I liked hitting
Nose explosion.
the comedian with the loser game show sound.
No, it's funny.
The
He's
only
funny.
way
He's a
this
funny
could
guy.
have been better is if the rain had really come down, which is what I was stringing this along, hoping that you would get caught in a storm for us. But thank you for calling, Brad. Tell the people again where it is. You'll give them accurate information where it is that they can find you on tour.
Yes, go to bradwilliamscomedy.com, and I'm on tour the rest of the year, doing international dates too, doing Europe, doing Australia, doing New Zealand. But go to bradwilliamscomedy.com, and you can see all the dates. And in June, I'll be at a hotel I can't pronounce in Miami Beach called the Faina or something.
No, that's just terrible promotion. It's also his video froze at the end.
But it was a pleasant picture of him that it froze.
It
It wasn't
was.
like in between where like half his eye is open or anything like
looks
that.
good,
It
yeah.
looked like a driver's license photo.
See you later, Brad.